Trump said he had held a highly productive phone call on Wednesday and would probably meet in person with Putin in the near term. He then briefed Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky on the call but was non-committal about whether Ukraine would be an equal participant in the negotiations. "I think they have to make peace, that people are being killed, and I think they have to make peace," Trump said as he pushed both sides to start talks to end the 3-year war. In a sign of the tension between the Trump administration and Europe, German Defense Minister Boris Pistorius said it was regrettable that Washington had made concessions to Russia before peace talks had even started. "Europe will have to live directly with the consequences," he said, "so it goes without saying that we must be part of the negotiations." German Chancellor Olaf Scholz expressed his concern that Trump could force Ukraine into a bad peace deal that would leave it facing an emboldened Russia. "The next task is to ensure that there is no dictated peace," he told news outlet Politico. Swedish Defense Minister Pål Jonson said European nations provided about 60% of the military support to Kiev last year and must be involved, especially given U.S. demands that Europe take more responsibility for Ukraine's security in the longer term. Comments came on the sidelines of a NATO summit in Brussels, which many European officials had hoped would be their opportunity to influence U.S. thinking on the war. But it soon became clear that the Trump administration was moving ahead without them. NATO Secretary-General Mark Rutte, who chaired the meeting, said whatever agreement is struck between Russia and Ukraine, it is crucial that the peace deal is enduring, that Putin knows that this is the end, that he can never again try to capture a piece of Ukraine. He insisted Ukraine must be closely involved in the peace talks. In his presidential campaign, Trump had pledged to end the war but had shared little detail on how to do it. In a TV interview at the weekend, he said that, at some point, Ukraine may become Russian, raising concerns from NATO allies. Ukraine and its European allies have insisted that any deal should seek Russia's withdrawal from captured Ukrainian land. But new U.S. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth has said returning to Ukraine's pre-2014 borders is an unrealistic objective. "Chasing this illusionary goal will only prolong the war and cause more suffering," he added. Hegseth also poured cold water on Ukraine's wish to get NATO membership. The United States does not believe that NATO membership for Ukraine is a realistic outcome of a negotiated settlement, but when asked if European nations would have a seat at the table, he said it was premature to talk about the format of the negotiations. Meanwhile, China has welcomed the proposed talks between Trump and Putin to end the Ukraine war. Russia and the U.S. are both influential powers, and China welcomes their efforts to strengthen communication and dialogue on a range of international issues, a spokesman for the Beijing Ministry of Foreign Affairs said on Thursday. China has consistently maintained that negotiations are the only viable path to resolving the crisis. From the beginning, President Xi Jinping has aimed for a political solution, the spokesman said.